Nour Odeh is a political analyst, and she joins us from Ramallah. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Welcome back. So we heard just before our correspondent in Rafah, our correspondent in Tel Aviv, who was explaining that there's been a lot of activity in the West Bank over the weekend. The IDF saying that they've killed several militants, a manhunt underway for somebody who fired over the border at a kibbutz. There's also been violence against Palestinian people, violent Jewish settlers there. A man has been killed, an ambulance driver has been killed picking up wounded people from an attack by violent settlers. How would you sum all of this up this weekend? What is the situation in the West Bank? Just how violent is it for the people living there?
Well, thank you for having me. The situation in the West Bank is simply unbearable. You have thousands of Israeli settlers who live illegally in settlements in the occupied West Bank. They are armed to the teeth. They serve in the Israeli army. Whether they're on duty or off duty, they are free to carry out attacks against isolated Palestinian villages, burn homes, burn crops, burn property with complete impunity. And that's what we've been seeing increasingly, up to 300% increase in settler attacks since October of last year. And over the past week, the situation has really hit a new peak, if you will, with the number of people injured and killed by Israeli settlers reaching a new high. You talked about that ambulance driver in the West Bank killed by settlers. Another ambulance driver in Tulkarem lost his 14-year-old son when an Israeli sniper shot him in broad daylight during that incursion in Nur Shams refugee camp in Tulkarem. So the situation is extremely tense, and unfortunately there doesn't seem to be any solution, any way to calm and de-escalate things in the horizon.
So Nour, you say there's no sense of resolution, also no sense of punishment, or there's impunity for people who are carrying out this violence. Is there any recourse at all for protection for the Palestinian people against these attacks?
Well, unfortunately, there are no quick solutions because, again, the Palestinians are facing these attacks while they're completely defenseless. If they are in villages, these villages are being isolated, cut off from the rest of their surroundings so that nobody can come to their aid. If it's a refugee camp, the refugee camp is isolated. In Tulkarem, there was a complete lockdown for 3 days while Israeli soldiers completely decimated that very impoverished refugee camp and left it in ruins. So in terms of quick solutions, no, there isn't. But I think that the course of seeking accountability through international legal action gives people some hope, because really it is quite unrealistic to expect that Israel, out of its own accord and without any pressure, would simply change course or change policy. Over the past few months, we've seen Israel confiscate more Palestinian land in the occupied West Bank than they've done in almost the past 30 years. And they do that because they feel emboldened and able to carry out whatever violations of international law they want to carry out without fearing consequence. And really, international courts right now present one of the few avenues that Palestinians can pursue.
Nour Odeh, political analyst, joining us from Ramallah. Thank you so much for your insights. We really appreciate it.